program your mind, nothing is impossible.
My name is Isaac, and you're watching More Than Just Jokes.
Alright, so I'm back. My boy Isaac. What's good with you, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm glad to be back so quick, though, brother.
Yeah, well, we got some positive feedback from the last video, last episode that we did on the topics that we discussed, and it was a good turnout.
And shout out to you, man. I've watched the other one, excuse me. Shout out to you and shout out to them. You guys did a wonderful job.
Thank you. Definitely appreciate it. Much gratitude. Now with your with the feedback that we got based on your expert, I ain't gonna say expertise, but your opinion
right
on those topics, it was well versed and very, very professional of you. So with that said, I want to speak to you on some other topics that are going on right now.
Sure.
Which is the comedian Monique and boycotting Netflix.
Right.
Okay. Now, the issue that I have with that is that the memes are going around. Right. Mm-hmm. So you got these memes going around. How she says she's the most decorated female comic. That, you know, since Martin Lawrence and her resume should speak for itself. She didn't get the same cut as...
Before you go, though. Agreed. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So, did you see the full interview?
Absolutely, because you made me do it.
Okay.
You're in front of the people.
Okay. So,
yeah, because at first I just turned the shit off because it's not something that...
Right.
You know.
The meme didn't do her justice. These memes are not doing her justice.
What? Because we want to go right into it. Or
let's dive. I mean,
okay.
you know what I'm talking about. So.
Right. Well, to be honest with you, at first I was like, yo, Monique, like, yo, 500,000, you should take that. Like, just because of the situation, Monique's situation right now, where I just looked at it because I know Monique for certain movies is getting 50,000, like pressures that go on to do these wonderful numbers. So I just was like 500,000, like, yo, like, right?
Low ball.
Well, I didn't even think low. I thought, compared to 50,000,
because you didn't think about who she was at the time.
No, but I was looking at it compared to 50,000.
Right. Okay.
For pressures versus one day or however comedy. You're a comedian, so you know.
Right.
But I was looking at that. I was looking at 500,000.
Oh shit! That's
50,000.
Girl, take that check.
Right.
Right.
Not even. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Right? Right. So.
And then you got the details.
And then you asked me, I was talking to you and you said, and somebody else asked me this, like, did you see the whole interview? And I was like, no, because that's not something I'm doing, right? So I went ahead and just watched the whole interview. And I have to say, but once again, personally for me, like maybe I was wrong about the way I was thinking. Like I agree with Monique on every level. I believe that, and I think I was telling you this though before, like I believe she's the Martin Lawrence of female, the Richard Pryor. She said herself, even Paul Mooney and these people refer to her.
Yeah, telling her like.
Right. So I already told you, when I was having these conversations with you and other people, I was like, well, when I think of top female comedians, I'm not thinking of Amy Schumer. I'm thinking of Monique. I'm thinking of Adele and some more. Yeah, you know what I mean? But more so Monique. I'm thinking of Monique.
She was in the Queens of Comedy.
Not only that, man.
How can how can you not mention her?
But not that. Monique, to me, like I said, Monique is, when I look at Monique, like I've never had a problem with Monique. I've always heard her talk, and every time I've heard her talk, she's been very well spoken and things like that. So yeah, I kind of had to flip on that and say, yo, I get where she's coming from. Like, she's not cooning and buffooning and all this. I don't know about what happened with Oprah and all these people. That's not my job to even try to figure that out because I wasn't in it. But I agree with her. Like, if everything that she said was true, then I agree with her stance on it. I'm not gonna personally probably boycott Netflix. That's probably something that I'm not gonna do, right? But I get where she's coming from. Right. I understand where she's coming from, and if there's any way I can help, besides, well, I don't even watch Netflix anyway, so I'm not tripping.
Right. I mean, we have it because kids want to watch some shit. Watch some Netflix,
Right. No, we got other shit, so I'm not tripping off of really Netflix, right? But will I watch it? Of course. Yeah. If it was there and I was around and somebody had it, I'm not gonna boycott it like I did the NFL because I really fucking didn't fuck with that.
You know what?
At all.
I didn't watch it, and I'm a Cowboys fan, and I don't give a fuck what nobody say. But I just looked at the score.
Listen
on my phone. Like, if they won or lost, they didn't make the playoffs.
I don't even want to get into that. But I didn't watch that shit. I keep it real with you. I watched the last Eagle game because my brother is an Eagle fan. Fanatic,
right, exactly. Yeah.
Timmy, my other brother, they Eagle fans. You know what I'm saying? So, I called Reem. I'm like, yo, I watched this. My boy, I'm talking about, right? I called him. I'm like, yo, I watched the last one,
right?
The last game.
But I'm not following.
No, I didn't. Season. I just watched it. It was a Sunday, and I just turned the shit on for the
barbershop talk conversation.
That's it. The Philly made it. I'm happy for my brothers. Because they have been long Eagle fans, so I was happy for them, man. But to get back on it, I'm not going to personally probably boycott Netflix, but I do agree with Monique. The memes and all that, when people do that, I don't think you really understood where she was coming from. Now, I even heard conscious community, some people say, well, just from the black community, period, like, oh, you want us to boycott them because they offered you $500,000 and that's something probably we'll never make in life. So now it's going into that, right?
Right.
They're going into that shit. Well, go get you $500,000.
Now, see, this is where I gotta take a stance on Monique's side because I'm a stand-up comic.
Right.
And in stand-up comedy, you do so many shows for fucking free. Just coming up. Like, I've hosted shows at well-known clubs. Right. Been at shows, well-known clubs.
Right, absolutely.
You know what they pay you? $2 per person if you bring 10 people. Right. You're doing bringer shows. Right. If you're not a mainstay and they just bring you there and it's only a few dollars. Right. So for those that don't know the comedy game, comedy is you talk about in the entertainment industry, comedy is at the bottom. Well, but it's the most raw art form and you don't get paid shit. So coming from comedy, that's a slap in the face once you work your way up and you start doing movies and you get a TV show. Right. She's had her own talk show. She's had a TV show.
Well, according to her, it's because of the I guess, and another reason I looked at it because I don't see her. I don't know what goes in. I don't know what goes on the inner workings of the entertainment thing because I'm not in that lifestyle, right? So, looking at the shit, I was like, yo, like, well, she should just take it. But then when she explained it, there is no cooning in her blood.
Yeah.
Or if there is, I didn't see the shit
early in her career.
Right.
She's done. She's done. She did some suspect shit.
Well, I don't know.
It was some crazy shit on her shows. Right. It's like, okay, you doing the whole the stereotypical black lady shit. Okay. She's done with that. She's a grown fucking woman with kids and shit. She's not doing that shit.
Yeah,
she's
a grown ass woman. I don't know, but everything that she said, I respected it. But that's just I have morals. Everybody in life has morals, and everybody is entitled to feel how they feel. Like, to me, she didn't sell out. She didn't do. We would call it back in the older days. It's like she didn't do no punk shit. She didn't let no punk shit get done to her. So I don't. As a black man, I respect her as a black woman. I don't really have nothing to. I'm not going to boycott, like I said, but yo, I agree with her. I watched that shit like 3 times just so I can feel her, and I felt her pain 100%. Like, I felt her pain, and no, us probably won't make 500,000. So why would we? Well, we're supporting her because it's 500,000, and we probably won't see that and all that. No, it's
you don't understand the low ball,
right.
like the shit that she did out of
well, not just
out
that,
of her
everything.
heart.
I could see if what Monique was saying was false.
Right.
Everything she said was
the
the
truth.
Right. So me, a person that deals in truth, I'm not. I can't say anything bad about what she said and what she stood up for. And
right.
I think us as black people, and she said something real interesting too. She said the ladies of the View. She said the ladies of the View, or I don't know. It was one of these shows, and I'm sorry, probably not the Real. She said the ladies of the Real was bashed her, and everybody on the Real is of color. Of everybody.
Yeah.
I don't even like using
There's
that
no
word,
white women on there.
Right. Everybody on the View. So she was like, when this Harvey Weinstein shit cracked off, everybody wanted to be, and I'm with the women. I don't know what happened, so don't take this word. But she was like, everybody wanted to have the women's back and stuff like that. But when it happens to your sister, you want to tell me, just take
shit.
the money.
Yeah.
After you done heard that this woman then said she felt like Oprah and whoever else walked her to the fucking boat.
Daniels.
Yeah, walked her to the slave ship and was just walked her on the motherfucker and was waving to her and all kind of crazy shit. Like, yo, where is your moral? That's what I'm saying. For me, it's a moral thing.
Lee Daniels told her to play the game.
Right, and work for free, basically.
Play the game. Like, well, I gotta play a game.
Because obviously their morals, I'm not gonna say they sell out or
you've seen Empire. We've all seen
listen, man. Listen, big up to that shit. Listen, man. That's not what I got. I don't fucking care about Empire. That's not what the fuck I got going on.
I don't really care for Tyler Perry movies either. Like, people talk to me, and I'm just like,
I used to like Tyler Perry's plays better than I did his movies. To be honest with you, I used to like Tyler Perry's plays better than his movies. But I'm not. They're at the end of the day, they're my peoples, man. Yeah. So I have a bigger. It's just a bigger thing for me to be like, oh, I'm not fucking with them. No, I fuck with Oprah. I mess with, I'm not going to probably watch Tyler Perry's movie because he doesn't make something I like. But if he ever made something I liked, of course. Same with Lee Daniels. But see, Lee Daniels, to me, he makes movies like The Butler.
They're personal.
The Help.
Yeah.
The Help. The Butler. Precious was cool, but like, what else is it?
Does it have to be so negative?
Why it gotta be The Butler, The Help, The Maid? You can't. It's other black people, prominent black people that have done stuff that you can find out.
You can't portray a better image.
But that's him. That's what he does. So for me, the Monique situation, I have morals, man, and my morals and my standards of which I live by. That woman did nothing wrong. Yeah. That interview that I watched, she did nothing wrong. She said nothing wrong. And as a person, as a black person in America, I agree with her, and I felt her pain. That's all I can say about that, D. I felt her pain 100%.
So in a nutshell, on the Monique situation, what do you feel people should do in regards to defending her? Well, I know my personal stance is do your research, do your homework before you start making memes about people. And if you're not in this shit, you don't know anything about the entertainment industry. I mean, the videos are out there. You can go on YouTube and you see all kinds of shit.
I will say this. Anybody that stands up for something, they always get labeled.
Absolutely.
So let's just end it. That anybody that stands up for something,
right,
and they're telling the truth, every time somebody tells the truth, something happens to them.
Kennedy, Martin Luther King. Malcolm X.
Right. Jesus.
There you go.
Of the Bible. That Jesus.
Stood up for something.
And ridiculed.
And y'all, so basically,
Kaepernick, everybody, it just happens.
The people today would be making memes about Jesus if he had an Instagram.
Well, probably so.
Yeah.
probably so, but I'm just trying to give that example, like, and that's basically what it is, man.
All right. That's what's up. That's it. It's a wrap. So we'll go from there.
Wow.
All right, so next question I want to ask you about is being from the West Coast, I'm sure you've been on the East Coast, and the culture of California. We got if you go to the penitentiary, you got Norteños and you got Sureños, and you got this thing where this inner culture where you got some people that are not black and they say nigga.
Okay.
And then you got rappers that get on and they can afford to pay certain people. Then they start saying nigga. And nigga is really strong in the black community. It's a history to that. It's the reason why we say it. It sounds ignorant, but it's it's deeper than that. From your perspective, once again, can you speak on that? Coming from a well-spoken perspective, I should say.
Okay. Well, so you're asking me basically how I feel about other races other than black saying nigga.
Absolutely. Because it's not being said.
Okay.
Because you got rappers, they got friends, they're like, yo, my nigga, and it's like, yo, he's not even black. Like,
well, first I want to say, because I don't want to ever get it misconstrued, sometimes I try very hard myself not to use that word, but I use that word still to this day. Not a lot, and I don't use it out in public. Does that make it right? No, but I use that word. So I just want to say that I try hard not to use it though. But other races, I've seen that happen. That kind of messed me up one time and it was a bad situation, but I was in the Los Angeles County Jail. And
not a good place to be.
It's not a good place to be. And I'm not bragging about that. I was there for a ticket or some shit. So, not no heinous crime or nothing like that. Right. So I just want to get it out there.
Because most people brag about it. I've been to the county.
No, I don't want to brag about that. Right? A lot of my friends have been kind of penitentiary times and stuff like that. So I feel that pain. I don't want to brag about that. But I was there, and there you have to live. If anybody's ever went to jail, you have to live by certain politics and certain rules, right? Whether you like them or not, that's just the way it is.
Right.
So I was in a cell. We was in a cell, and I started hearing my brown brothers say "nigga," but they're not using it like, I guess, in a derogatory manner. Like nigger or
term of endearment.
Yeah, well, that's how they were using it. They were using it how we use it, right? And so at that point when I heard that happening, I tapped the people that was in the cell with me. I'm like, yo, well, get up, right?
No problem,
right? Because I come from a different era, and that wasn't happening. That kind of stuff wasn't happening. If that was happening in the 90s. In the 80s, when people was going to jail, it's a problem.
Oh, yeah.
It's a problem. So when that happened, I automatically thought like, oh, okay, well, I told the guys to get up, and they were younger, and the young homie kind of gave me game. He like, get up for what? Like, I got you, OG, but it's not like that no more. They say that. And I said, what? He said, yeah, they say that. And I said, oh, man. I said, this is crazy, right? So get out of jail, whatever. Then I start hearing it more. One day I was at a park. with my 6-year-old. And the kids was playing. It was all kind of people, Asian people, black people, China, Mexican, whatever, right? There was all kind of people, right? Mm-hmm. And it was some kids. They were kids, probably 15, 16 years old. It was one kid, you could tell he was a mixed kid, right? Maybe white and black, or maybe Mexican and black, but he was a mixed kid, right?
Yeah.
This kid, his friends were using this word. They were going around and it was like, my nigga, my nigga, my nigga, my
right.
nigga, my nigga. But to the extra power.
It was just no one was around and you did it.
Right. Well, they did it, and it's kids. So me, I thought I could bring the young black brother to the side, him first. Like, yo, you need to, it's kids here. Y'all shouldn't be using that word anyway. When I told him that, he got on the defensive. At that point, when you dealing with a child, so I can't get on the defensive because I'm the adult in the situation, right?
Absolutely.
So I have to maintain who I am through this whole thing, whether this kid cusses me out, whatever he does, I have to remain the adult in the situation, right?
Yeah.
So he's kind of like, when I say it, he's like, oh, he's kind of, so I'm like, listen, I get stern. I say, listen, man, I say, you have your friends saying this. I said, what if you come across a black brother or somebody that doesn't particularly agree with this? Mm-hmm. And then something happens to your friends. You're not going to help them. You're not going to help them.
No.
And the kid thought about that. And I seen the kid after that. And the kid came up to me and we conversed and he talked to me and he apologized. You know what I mean? But I don't, that comes from, that just comes from that. That's how that happened in jail. Like, if I have a brown brother, that's my friend, and I allow him to say that, then he's gonna go out and say it. So that's happening because we're allowing that to happen. We're allowing our friends that are brown to say this, and we're not tripping. We don't care. We don't.
Okay.
So that's why that's happening.
Now, with that said, now speaking on politics, gang politics, and just culturally, if you go to South America, or you go to anywhere where there's a Spanish country, the model person is a lighter skinned person,
right?
And there's a lot of racism in the, let's say, the Hispanic gang culture. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of racism in it. They label us as mayates, whatever. But once you get to the higher up, they're like, man, we don't fuck with them. Right. You know.
Right. And I can say I can't speak on that because I've never been in a I've never been a essay. I've never been in a brown gang. But what I can say is I do understand that because I come from that era, and I have a lot of people. I have a lot of brothers that are mixed, right? They're black and brown, so I understand that perspective.
They give you the knowledge from the other side. Right. They'll tell you.
Right. My homies don't do that, and if they do it, they don't do it with me. I'm talking about my brown homies. They don't. Right.
Me either. Right. Like, this is some younger, like,
right.
And I'm 33. I don't care about telling my age.
But it's allowed if I'm hanging with you all day, and I get it to a certain extent because if we little, right, and we young, and we growing up, and I'm hanging with you, right, because you're just like, oh shit, like that's your brother now. So if I'm using that word and I'm black and I'm calling him that, and I'm allowing him to call me that, it's kind of like a brother thing, and they don't look at it. And plus, it's all the music is all, it's in the music. Like what gets to me, right? You see all these white people, right? I think it was in Alabama, right? Right? You see this shit. What do us as black people? We gotta take some accountability too, because true. What did you think? You thought a million people was just supposed to bleep out that part, those certain parts
of the song? You're talking about the Alabama AMU And all the white folks was listening to Kendrick Lamar.
But in general, though, if we make that type of music, right, you guys get mad because the white people say this or the people say it. Well, damn, don't say it. Use another word. It's not that they want to be part of it, dude. Do you bleep out words when you singing them?
No.
Okay. So why should somebody else have to bleep out words?
If my daughter is in the car, I'm bleeping out.
Well, dude, it's not supposed to be playing if your daughter's in the car.
Exactly.
Right. So you don't have
Ignorant.
to. I don't have to. Right.
You got hit. I will hit pause and keep driving.
Well, I don't. Listen.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is, brother. But that's what it goes to. It's like if I'm allowing my friends to say it, it goes out. But you're just brothers, man, that don't like that shit.
It's a domino effect.
Well,
it's gonna be.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so let's put it to it in a nutshell. As far as me speaking, and I don't want to speak too much, on my platform, but it is my platform. But I don't like people that are not black coming to me, yo, my nigga. Like, you're not my nigga. You didn't go through my nigga shit. I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, there were no brown fountains only. There were no Jim Crow laws made for Hispanics in America. Actually, if you read Dr. Claude Henderson's book, Hispanics were allowed to ride horses in races and be jockeys and make money more than blacks were. Blacks were kicked out of the Kentucky Derbies in the early 1900s and late 1800s. And that's a fact. You can look that up. They were allowed. I don't remember ever seeing Hispanics being lynched in this country because it was based on skin color.
Yeah, but we're not. It's not that. You're right about that. But you talking about nigga.
Right.
Okay. You're saying the stuff that happened. That's not no nigga shit.
But
that happened.
Right. But okay, there was no word that was.
But being lynched,
equivalent to
nigga shit. Is nigga shit can be black, white, Mexican, this, that, and third. It's up to the ones that really that word. If you feel something type of word, if you see nigga shit. Allows people for they Mexican friends or whoever to use that word, because nigga is not a black person. That's not a black. So nigga.
They're talking about the Niger River.
Well, nigga, but just
they
nigga,
turn it into
nigga shit.
Is ignorant shit.
Nigga, right?
Ignorant
nigga shit is worldwide. Nigga shit happens with anybody.
But see now, okay, you just open up something else. Now, if you say that nigga shit is worldwide, that opens up the door for everybody to say nigga.
Well, if you allow that, if you present yourself as that, I'm not speaking as that. I'm speaking as a black man. I'm not speaking from the nigga aspect. So if I tell a kid not to do it, I say everything that you just said, basically to them. This happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. Because I understand that word is it comes from nigger. So I don't ever, to me, when does it become that now? Okay, we allow them to say nigga. What's next? So for me, that's where I'm at with that. That's why when you ask the question about how do I feel about that, I come from it from that type of view. Yeah. I don't come from it from the other type of view. I come from it from, well, what if they start saying nigger? Then what? When does the nigga, when does the A drop off and the ER is added? You see what I'm saying? So that's where I'm coming from.
And okay, So with that said, you got younger dudes that don't have knowledge of self, and they don't have the history of knowing, their history, and they're allowing their friends that are not black or African descent to say this word, and they're like, yo, just like
it has to be
most of the non-black popping, pill popping, lean sipping rappers that are not black, they say nigga because they're getting their drugs from a black dude.
Because they're doing nigga shit. The motherfucker that died, and God bless the dead, yo. But the motherfucker that died, that was putting all them pills in his mouth and stuff like that, that was a white boy doing so-called nigga shit. That's not black shit. I seen Mozzie pour out the bottle.
Pour out the bottle, yeah.
See, so it's what are we doing? Like I see so that kid that died was a white kid.
Now I gotta pose a question. What is nigga shit?
Ignorant shit.
Ignorant shit.
Yeah.
But where does ignorant shit come from?
Everybody has ignorant shit.
But why? Okay, so how do we go from?
We was using nigga as a term of endearment.
Right. Because
of what? Because of the bond. Because of that bond. We was using it, but nigga right now, what happened to nigga? Nigga went mainstream.
Right.
So everybody, but us as black people,
but we don't come from
we have
nigga shit.
And we have to remember that as black people, when we ask that question, we forget sometime, right? Because we are, shit, nigga, that's what it is. We come
from science and technology,
but no, we
Benjamin Banneker and shit.
We have to remember what we're talking about when people ask that question. For me, I just look at it for the kids, and you said what needs to be done. Well, I guess what I did, bring the young man to the side and say, this is what you shouldn't do, and this is the reason you shouldn't do it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it seems like basically what we've broke down, or what I've just learned from this conversation, is that nigga is an inside joke word. It's like, what's up, my nigga? And it's like, you know who we are. But at the end of the day, it's like,
nigga is mainstream, and I'm kind of glad it's mainstream on one level. You know why? Because it shows a lot of ignorance in other people, and it takes that stigma away from black people. Right. So let them motherfuckers be ignorant. I'm not saying let the young man die or whatever he did, but he was on the shit with the pills and all this shit, and the other dude with all the tattoos, and he's a blood and he's a Crip. Listen, man.
But who should say it?
Who should say what?
Nigga.
I don't know.
Is it for every race?
Yeah. At this point, everybody that's ignorant, everybody that lives that nigga lifestyle. I've lived that nigga lifestyle. You've lived it, so we know what it is. We
absolutely.
Know, right.
So
and all that is ignorance. That's nothing else other than that.
But how do you feel about somebody coming to you? It's okay. Perfect example. Say for instance, there's a white boy. Oh, what up, my nigga?
A white boy's not gonna do that to me.
But they're out there, and it can you saying it's not gonna happen.
It's not.
But Trump is president.
It's not.
And we didn't think that was.
It's not gonna happen to me. It may happen to you. It's not gonna happen to me.
Okay, so what if that does happen? I want to throw it out there.
It's what, man. I can't tell you. You know what I mean? I don't.
Okay,
I can't answer that question.
Speak on somebody who's just like you, and that does happen to you. To them, somebody say, "Oh, it's a white boy walks up, what up, my nigga?"
If that's what if that's what the bond they got, that's what the bond they got.
What if he doesn't know this person? Because this is what's going on.
It would be up to that person to do whatever he felt he needed to do. I'm not doing. You're not gonna come up to me and you're not gonna do that. That's just something you're not gonna do.
I respect that. I respect that all the way. I went 100. All right, that's what's up. So, in a nutshell, how do you feel about people saying that people that are not African descent saying nigga?
Hey, man, they just showing their true colors. of what a nigga is. A nigga is not a nigga is not us. A nigga is not my people. We come from that because we had to endure some nigga situations in our life. That were what they would call nigga situations, but it was really horrible, deplorable situations. See, everybody wants to be from the gutter and shit like that till you really had to go to that motherfucker. Right. So that was just something we used as a black people bonding or whatever it was used. I wasn't around when that happened, but I have talked to older gentlemen and they tell me, no, that's not cool. And I look at it how they taught me, and when's the A dropped and the ER is being added. So no, I don't. Nigga is worldwide, man. I'm not tripping off that at all.
That's what's up. Okay, now another thing I wanted to talk to you about was the not the generational gap, but the respect out there, not just in the streets, but just in life in general, of how the older generation and the younger generation have respect for each other, vice versa. Because there's obviously, because I see it all the time. There's a hit and miss between the younger generation and the older generation. There's a level of respect that they get, even with me. Like, I might see an older woman, I might say hello, and then she might not say nothing. I'm just like, I'm not, and it's just like, I'm very respectful.
Right.
My mother and my father are damn near your age. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have respect for you. How do you feel about the younger generation and the older generation respecting each other? As far as like the people that's like 20 something to the people that's like 40 something.
Well,
or 50 maybe.
Well, you know what, man? And it's sad you know why it's sad? Because it's not just that, say from 20 to 40 or whatever it is, like you said. Because stuff like that has actually happened to me. I've go to stores and there's older couples. I'm talking maybe 60, like my mother's age or something like that. And they don't speak. They will walk right past you. I'm not saying all of them.
Right.
But for the most part, I've had that happen. I've actually had to, I go up to people and I just talk to them. I start talking to them. And, but I don't understand it, but however that happened with us, because I used to be that type of person. I didn't speak to every black person that I've seen. I didn't speak that. I didn't do that. So I understand it probably takes, as sad as it sounds, it takes practice to get that in effect. So, but it's not just my generation and then probably with my kids' generations, right? It's not that. It's just not that. It's always been that. Because if you look at, like I said, the older generation, they don't really fuck with us. Like it's very rare.
It's true.
One day I was in a store. Got a story. And I was talking to somebody on the phone. And what I was talking about was this very topic. A black couple was peeping me. I didn't know they was peeping me. They was older. They could have been like my mother and my father.
Right.
They was peeping me, and after they came up to me, I was actually still on the phone. They came up to me and they was like, you know what? We don't mean to get into your business and stuff like that, but we heard what you were saying on the phone. And they said, you are absolutely right. They was like, I don't know if I said, well, I wasn't talking about y'all. I didn't even know y'all. I didn't even see you was there. But she was like, no, but you're right. She was like, and she just said that they were gonna change their behavior. And she said, for me as a young guy to keep, or whatever age I am, to keep motivated and keep doing it. But that's a hard thing. That, especially if you're not used to anything that you've never done before consistently. It takes practice.
Yeah.
It takes practice. Like if you're not used to doing something and you want to do it, say for the rest of your life, well, you have to practice and consistently do it. And then one day it just becomes natural, right? That's
guaranteed.
That's what it had for me. But as far as my generation and probably like my kids, like I said, I'm 42. I have a daughter that's going to be 25. I have a son that's going to be 24, and I have a 6-year-old. Right? We can say what we want to say about that,
Right?
Because parenting, man.
Yeah.
It's parenting.
You can't practice parenting.
Where
you can't prepare for parenting. It comes as it comes.
It's just parenting.
Yeah.
The disrespect, even with the older generation,
Yeah.
who they came from.
Yep.
It's just the disrespect and stuff like that. And these young kids don't know. These young kids really don't understand that some of us have really been through some shit in life and will really do something to you. I was watching something with brother Shabazz, and it was just perfect. He said the shit perfect because he was like, "Yo, motherfuckers got duct tape before, and houses done burned up, but he's talking real shit." I'm kind of smirking about it, but I was in that era. I lived through that shit, so I understood where he was coming from. But these young kids, they're used to social media. And like he said, you could say pull up and what is shoot the fair one,
right?
Shoot the fade, and I'm tapping in and whatever he was saying. But he was right about that because I don't particularly talk like how these kids talk. But it goes back to even people my age.
Yeah,
they're trying to be with these kids.
Yeah, that's
they're trying to do these same things with these kids that what these kids are doing instead of giving them some education, right? So now everybody is just it's just
Do you think that there is an issue with morals and standards?
Of course, everything comes back to that because you have to put yourself in. If you're to blame, if something is going on in your life, whether that be good or bad, you have the right to say, I want to still live like this or I don't want to live like this. So anything that I feel like it always goes back to a moral thing because it's who you are. It's like all this stuff that's going on is who you are. Like I don't personally want to party with my daughter and them. That shit is weird. Right. I don't particular because I may do some shit that my kids may think is weird. Right. I may be weird to my daughter and to my older son, to my son and my daughter. Right. I may be weird to them. Right.
Right.
So I don't want them to see me doing some weird shit.
I feel like like at that point from where you're at, it's like I want to be in my socks, drink wine, and listen to jazz really loud in my house.
That's it.
They want to dress up, look cool, go to a club, and drink alcohol and party.
It's
you want to listen to music and have fun.
Well, I want to sit home and read a book or watch a lecture from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
There you go.
They want to go. Whatever it is they do, or just whatever it is they do, just whatever it is they do. I don't know what it is these kids do, but I just, well, you hear about what these kids do. So my job is an older person. I can't join the party with them. I got to give them some life, and I got to, so we can bridge that gap. So they know, you know what, I can go to him. Not just for my older children, my younger child, not just for them, but for their friends and stuff like that. They can come to me, and I'm not as a person that's judging them, just so we can bridge the gap, and I can have respect for them, and they can have respect for me, and have respect for older people. Because God forbid, man, you get out there and you meet, I don't know Brother Shabazz personally, right? But the shit he was talking was 100%. So God forbid you go out and you meet a brother like that. Well, he's not playing with you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
He's not playing these games with you, and you really, really can get hurt.
I'm telling you straight up.
Right. And I don't want my younger brothers and sisters to get hurt. If we have to discipline them, cool. But they'll kill you. They don't even like discipline these days. So it has to be a way that we can. And there are children. For my age, these are my true. I look at it like that. So I'm not going to just say fuck them and throw them away. I'm going to be there for them and as much as I can. And the children can come up because that's my job.
They may say, let me catch that fair one. And then it's like, fuck, I got my ass whooped by this OG. I'm finna go to this nigga house. And it's like, dude, we caught a fair one. Why are you bringing these dudes to my house?
Yeah,
like, why is it now you want some kill me shit?
It's not even that, because I know, speaking for myself, it's a spanking. It's not even. But see, we have to before you discipline somebody and do all this shit to them, you have to let them know you love them first. You can't just go in and smack a motherfucker up and do all this and tell the kids they weird and what the fuck is going on. No.
Yeah.
Half the time the kids is weird because the parents that they come from.
You know what? My father, he went to Washington High School. He from South Central. Mm-hmm. And you know what I'm saying, 108th and Western. Went to Henry Clay. Went to Washington High School. Mm-hmm. And his generation, they would throw them things. Mm-hmm. Your hands was your, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That was your resume. Mm-hmm. We're going to throw these things. We ain't got no bullets.
Right.
We ain't shooting unless, you know, there's some bullshit going, like, it's really deep.
Right.
They should throw them things.
Right.
And your hands was, you know, you talking. Like, man, nigga, you think you bad? Well, let me see them hands. Mm-hmm. And it was cool. we going to throw them hands and we good.
Right.
Now it's like, oh, I took an ass whooping. Not I'm gonna go work out and catch up. Mm-hmm. Now it's like I'm gonna go grab my homies and get the thing.
Because like I said, there was no discipline. Okay. There's no discipline. We're raising our
morals
children.
And standards.
We're raising
have lowered.
My era is raising our children like they are friends.
This, you know, okay.
Let's make no mistake about it.
True.
This
is true.
I love to have a friendly relationship with all my children, especially my daughter, my oldest daughter, and my son.
Right.
My youngest daughter, she's just like, you know what I mean. But I would love to have that. I love to have that friend relationship with them. But hey, check this out. I'm somebody else at the end of the day. You know what I mean? I'm dad. And that was the problem. A lot of people my age are raising their child like they're like their friend. Like this is my friend, this is my home girl, I'm my homeboy, right? I'm going to the club with them and shit like that. So with that said, like, people have to understand, like, I know you might be 40, you still look good, you know, you're not an older parent, you're not in your 50s, and you're not going to the club with your son and your daughter. No. But they have to understand, I'm not your friend. That's where we have this imbalance with the parents now. No, like I said though, man, it's good to have a friend relationship with your children. But at the end of the day, they have to understand that you're the parent. A lot of people, in my generation, from what I've seen, we raise them too much like they are a homeboy or a homegirl. People refer to their kids as my little nigga.
You're right.
People refer to their kids as
my little nigga right here.
Right, this my little nigga right here.
It's my little mini me right here. Like,
right. People refer to their children as, well, I don't know how the women, I hope they wouldn't. I've never heard that.
And the kid wants to hold that up like,
no.
I'm my dad's little. I gotta
it is that.
Do what he doing.
No, it is bigger. You have to look at it how it does. A young mind, a kid, and you raise a kid like that, and the kid is your friend, well, you're going to grow up like that. A kid only they only do what you allow them to do. You know what I mean? So yeah, for me, I have older children, and they do things. They in the life. They're in this entertainment stuff and all kind of stuff. And sometimes with my daughter, my oldest daughter, there's certain things I have to say sometimes, right? And
Right.
she don't particularly like it or whatever, because I understand that's what she does, and I respect her. I respect what she does in her job, right? But I have to say something like, no, we're not gonna do this. So no, I think it's the parents, man. It's you. It's the parents. It's the kids come from where they come from. Let's not forget that. Yeah,
Right.
when they're adults, they need to be accountable for stuff, but they come from somewhere.
So that reverses Will Smith's song. Parents just don't understand. No, parents need to understand what they're teaching their kids.
Absolutely.
Knowledge of self. Knowledge of self. The most important people on the planet is the one that receives this knowledge to get the people out of this shit, and that is you.